I thought I'd make a video on time. What is time? And interesting thing is the Mayan calendar is predicting the end of time, which we kind of perceive that as it's going to be the end of the world. And that's not necessarily true. If we don't wake up and we don't realize what time is, then it will be our destruction. If we recognize what time in fact is, then it could be our evolution. So what is time? You have to understand what pea brains are. P is the number of brains, brains spelled BRANES. So P is the number of brains being used. I did post a video on what dimensions are, and that's basically what brains are, is the dimensions we perceive reality. So one brain is a particle with height. A two brain is a particle with height and width. A three brain is a particle with height, width, and depth, so 3D perspective. Four is watching a particle, a 3D particle moving in time. Now, after the fourth dimension in time, we are saying that there's like 10 dimensions. And this is where I personally disagree. I think every dimension that we are recognizing exists is still within time. So if you're going to get out of a dimension of time, that's the only time you're going to be in a different dimension. You're sort of like in a bubble that's in another larger bubble that's in a larger bubble. So all of these other dimensions that we say are out there, from my perspective, are still within that small bubble that's holding time. It's watching stuff move, from one distance to another distance. And that it could be, 99% of reality is invisible. When you have a problem, the solution is invisible, but it doesn't mean it's not there. It's just you can't see it. You can't comprehend the solution, but it doesn't mean it's not there. So the distance from time from a problem is to the solution. So here's the problem: the distance it takes for you to see and recognize and comprehend the solution is time. Time is the distance. It's the measurement of something moving. So when we get rid of time, think about what that means. That means things happen instantly. That means you see the solution to every problem instantly because there's no time involved. When you want to attract something in your life, that is taking time. Why does it take time to make things attract? Because you don't have the comprehension to see what's in front of you already. It's invisible, but it's in fact always in front of you. It's just your comprehension to see it that's not there. So that's where the next dimension is going to take you to, is you're going to see everything instantly. There won't be any time involved. So that kind of suggests every problem is going to be solvable. That kind of suggests that when you want something, it's going to happen instantly. And I think that it will happen because when you wake up to this and you develop a comprehension of what a problem is, it's impossible to create a problem, because as soon as you do something, you'll see the solution just as fast as you see the problem. So you would never take that direction. And there's lots of tools out there. All of this, we're kind of in an awareness, but it's like a piece of a puzzle, and we haven't put the puzzle pieces together. It's like, just be the love. Well, just being the love doesn't solve shit. Being the love is a part of the puzzle, though. Meditating. Look at these monks. They've been meditating all their lives, for generations even. Have they solved any of their problems? No. So meditation is not going to solve anything, but it's a piece of the puzzle. Um, we do have the pieces to all of the puzzles, but for me to explain this has been one of the most challenging things I've ever run across, because it's like explaining here's a boat and you have no comprehension of what a boat is. You have to jump outside of time to be able to get it. And when you get it, you see the world completely different. So, in actual fact, I'm in a process of being in both. I can see the fifth dimension, but I'm not living in the fifth dimension yet. In order to be in the fifth dimension, you've got to be outside of it to see it. So right now, we are in the fourth dimension of time, and some people can see the fifth dimension, but they're not living in the fifth dimension. If they can see the fifth, if they can live in the fifth dimension, then they can see the sixth dimension. It's like being a fish in a fishbowl. You can't see where you are until you're outside of where you are. So it's a jump. It's a huge jump. But I'm predicting that we will make this jump within 2 years. There's some excellent tools if humanity was willing to participate with the tools available to us. You kind of want your solutions though. And from my perspective, trying to explain this, everybody's stuck in the problem. Nobody wants to let go of the problem yet. And you know, if you're focused 100% on the problem, and you have no desire what's the solution, then you'll never accept it. It's like if you have pain, you'd rather take the painkiller than to get rid of the reason why something is causing you pain. And trust that this information has cured cancer, AIDS, all mental illnesses, all addictions. It solves every problem known to the human experience, and the science I've researched has been doing it for more than 30 years. The only problem is the guy that created this concept doesn't believe his own shit. He's like not in that other dimension yet, as I'm not either. And it's almost like if you go into that other dimension, then you lose the ability to communicate what you know with others. So the only way you can go into that fifth dimension is when society goes into that dimension. It's like we all have to understand the world is not flat, it's round, and we have to all understand that instantly, all at once. And when we all understand that, then we're shifted into the fifth dimension. Otherwise, you're sort of trapped. And I'm kind of in that same spot too. I know the problem that I'm having, and communicating with my problem, what does it want? A lot of it means that I have to believe in myself a lot more. I have to improve on my communication skills a lot more. Trust me, it's like communicating with insanity. It's like, okay, how do you get somebody to want to see the problem when they don't want to see the problem? It's challenging, and it is communication. And I'm working on my own communication skills. I'm working on my own belief systems about myself. I don't happen to believe in myself very much, mostly because I'm influenced by society. Society doesn't believe in me, so I'm like bombarded by society not believing in me. Why should I believe in me? And I'm trying to gain some strength because where I was completely crushed, and I was at my complete lowest, and the level of food that I'm getting, and you know, there's a lot of different things that are going on that are trapping me in the emotion of the problems. And I'm working through those emotions and that letting go process. So, you know, I'm using these tools myself, but knowing it will take some practice. But you have to be willing to want to know it and then practice it, and then we will jump out of. So there's solutions to every problem. We just got to know it's there. Peace out.